Bonjour, everyone. Hi, this is Neshi Lokotz. Welcome to Communications from Home, my weekly evening show, and right here on Facebook at our main fan page. Yeah, and it's Tuesday, May 21st. It happens to also be my husband's birthday today. And so we were doing a little celebration before I came up to do the show. And so now he and I are the same age because I'm 5 months older than he is, except for today. So happy birthday, Paul. I don't know if you're going to be watching because he's taking care of George tonight. So welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. And for those who will be watching the recorded show, thank you as well. I'm going to be asking you to do me a favor. If you would please share the live stream, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to share it over to my news feed, and so that my friends know, right, that I'm live streaming. I just need to find our live stream here. Got to scroll. It doesn't take long. It doesn't take long at all. And here we are. I'm going to like it, and I'm going to share it to my newsfeed. You know, I usually say that this is the part where, as light workers and energy workers, it's kind of like a civic duty to do the sharing. Whenever we find a video, a post, a YouTube, anything that's helpful to our spiritual growth, that when we share it, we're actually helping some other soul to find it a little bit easier, right? And so that's why I ask you to share. So here we go. I'm going to say hi to my friends and letting them know that I'm live streaming and asking them to please join us. There we go. And I see that Stephanie's in the house already, and because she's doing some sharing and posting for us. So thank you for that, Stephanie. I appreciate that. I should probably turn down my sound. There we go. There. And so tonight's show, I have been looking forward to for quite some time. Since the last time I talked to my guest on the phone, and we arranged that we were going to meet a couple times this month. And so I asked her if she would be available for this interview. And the reason why I was so excited about it is because she's got some really helpful information about not only our physical health, but our emotional, spiritual, and mental health too. Yeah, all wrapped up into one. And I just want to say that Patricia Heredia, is also one of our Star Nation's contributing writers. And she started this series about weight gain way back in January. And in this series, she was building upon it each month and going to the conclusion, the ultimate liver cleanse. And I have to say that when I started reading, because, I prep all the articles, so my hands and my eyes are on them multiple times before we actually publish. And so reading her articles multiple times, I knew in my heart that I would be doing this liver cleanse. And so I like the rest of you, I couldn't wait for the next issue to come out so I could get the next step. But I'm going to bring Patty on in just a second. I want to introduce you to her. Patty is also an author. I don't know if many of you know this, that she has co-written books for and with Jack Canfield. And so here's a little bit about Patty. Okay. Patty Heredia's practice is called the Therapy Center and is located in Grand Rapids, Michigan. She's been a therapist since 1995 and offers a range of therapeutic services at her center. Patty is a nationally certified and registered clinical hypnotherapist, a registered colon hydrotherapist, a clinical massage therapist, and a trained upledger craniosacral therapist. And she, I know that it keeps her busy. And I know several people who go to Patty and enjoy the time with her, but more importantly, the healing aspects that she's able to provide. So I'm going to bring Patty on. There we go. Hey, Patty.
Hi.
And so welcome to the show. Thank you so much for making time for us.
Thank you. I'm happy to.
Okay. Okay, we got just a little bit of a sound delay, which we didn't have when we were testing everything out just a few minutes ago. Isn't that something? So hopefully it'll clear up. If nothing else, I can refresh the screen and we'll see if that fixes it. But let's move forward and see how that goes, okay?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So I just want to see who's in the chat room with us first before we start going with the interview, just to say hello to a few people here. Gotta scroll. Here we go. Rob Kendall's in the office. And I was thinking about your office in the chat. Hello, Rob. And I will let Paul know that you told him happy birthday. Yeah, he's actually right now he's probably having a little cheesecake because he doesn't really like cake. He goes, no, I won't. All right. So Stephanie says, keeps kicking me off the page and majorly choppy, refresh multiple times. Really? So we could be having some issues with either Facebook or with Be Live, maybe. Okay. She had to refresh 5 times. Thank you for hanging in there, Stephanie. That's really something. All right, so that tells me something here, Patty, is that I am going to refresh my screen, okay? So it's a possibility that it'll drop you off. If it does, just re-click the link that I sent to you. Okay?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So here we go. We're going to refresh. I'll be just gone for just a moment, okay? I'll be right back. There you go. There you go. I'm back. And Patty's on her way.
I'm here.
Hey, and it fixed the audio lag.
Good.
Yeah. Good. All right. So hopefully that will all correct itself also for those people who might be having some difficulty in the chat. Yeah. Hi, Ann. Good to have you here. I don't know if you know that's Minnie's sister.
I most certainly do. Hi, Ann.
Good. So, Patty, when way back when, I think it was in December, we had you and I had a little bit of a chat regarding your column and what you wanted to write about.
Right.
And that it was going to be a series because there was a whole lot of information that you wanted to share and to be able to break it up in digestible sizes, right?
Exactly.
Right.
So much.
And it is, and it's really not just interesting information, but helpful. It's very helpful. I just wanted to make sure I get my pictures up here. Hang on just a sec. Here we go. And I do have, this is the January one. I don't know if you remember this.
I remember.
Because the title of it is what is weight gain all about anyway?
Yes.
And I will say I loved that that title because I just want to make sure I get the best. Here we go. Because so many people ask about that and are concerned about it anyway, but most people don't realize an important piece of information that you shared with us. And this is where you set up the information about the liver.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you explain a little bit why you felt that it was important to share this information with us?
Yes, because very briefly, I had a very dear person in my immediate family die, and he was incredibly ill. He had everything wrong with him, from gastrointestinal to he was on all kinds of medications, high blood pressure, GERD, you name it. He had heart stents, he had atherosclerosis, and he died just before he turned 61 because it was a terrible accident where stomach fluid came up. He suffocated. And in that started for me, how can I get this information out to people about your overall health and how that is going to affect everything in your body? And that started it. And then, of course, I've been studying all of this since early 1990s. And I have my go-to people that I cling to every word they're saying. And so what I wanted to share with as many people as I could get, and from the people in my own contact list, and then this opportunity. Thank you, Neshi. I keep looking down at you down there, but thank you, Neshi. Is I share the information that I'm learning, and then I run the experiments on myself as well. So any and all of this, I've done it myself. I know the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I know the where to tweak it, what can work, what doesn't, and then share, and it brings it all to the internal health, the internal integrity of your organs of elimination, which are your kidneys and your colon, and your major filtering organ, which is your liver. If any of your internal organs are struggling, challenged, which most modern Americans, having eaten the modern American diet, and being exposed to toxins and viruses and pollutants, our liver, we as modern humans really could tolerate and stand to have 3 livers. We don't. So that's a foundational step. It is an absolutely essential first step to do, whether you want to drop weight or whether you want to mitigate or heal any condition that's in your body. And it's rejuvenating. Yeah.
Yeah, all of that, right?
Yeah.
All of that. So that was the January issue. And what I liked about it was that you gave us the foundational pieces around the building blocks of the food, really, right?
Yes, the why, the who, the what, the why in the world would you ever do this? Yes. Yes.
And I think that the aha moment for some people was when you mentioned that our liver really plays a key role in our weight gain, and we don't even realize it many times.
Yes. The metabolism is simply a term for a chemical process, okay? And we can be processing our food, our nutrition, any nutrition that we take in for cellular repair and nutrition if we eat correctly and in balance and with our body. And of course, the devitalized food chain that we have really throws a monkey wrench into it. So you have to be proactive. And the spiritual components of the food and the energy of the food and touching it and blessing it and loving it. And it all blends with your own energy field and is utilized. It's not just a diet. It's so much bigger than a diet. Yeah.
That was one of the other things that was, I think, an aha moment for me was that, and I know this, but it was the way that you had put it, is that that even before we start doing the liver cleanse is really to understand the food that we were taking in, and also to be able to help the food to vibrate at an optimal rate for us individually.
Yes. Blend your energy field with the food by first, if you can, the best, of course, grow your own food. Well, there's just a small percent of it that really are able to do that. And then secondly, be proactive in eating organic and buying the food from the farmers markets or the fresh, unfrozen, uncanned, fresh, organic if possible. and then touching it and blessing it and walking by and blessing it and praising it, appreciating it, because that alters and blends your energy field with the energy field of the food. And your body will take every single, let's call it calorie, again, it's just a measurement, into your body, as I said earlier, for cellular repair and for nutrition and for fuel, and will not store it.
And that, and it recognizes, we recognize each other. Right?
Yes, you recognize, yes.
Yeah. So it's much easier to digest too.
Everything about it. Everything begins to go into balance and flow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now this is your February article. The mystery weight gain and mystery hunger.
Oh yeah. Now I have all my art. You know what? I'm not going to look. I'm just going to answer what you, yes.
Yeah. So, this is another title that goes, oh my God, what is that? The mystery hungry, because we all have it.
Yes.
We all experience it, right?
The biochemistry of the brain and the body are, the hip bone really is connected to the leg bone. I mean, and that old song, everything is connected. Right. Everything has an effect. And the mystery hunger, when we take in devitalized food, we will have a chemical signal that says, yes, but at a cellular level, I have not received the nutrition that I need. And the signal goes to the brain that I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. But when you eat nutrient-dense food, you actually can eat less of it because your body will get the chemical signal. And it's kind of like a shut-off signal in the brain. And it filters down. And it is tied in with all parts of the gastrointestinal tract. I just want to add this. A lot of people do not know that there are not separate parts to our gastrointestinal tract. It's all one tube with valves. So the stomach is in the same tube that the small intestine is in, same tube that the large intestine is. And the liver is connected by tubes to that tube. So everything is in this fine energetic balance. And there is a chemical domino effect.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And why were you even telling us all this? Because it's a lot of really good information. And some people would think, what has that got to do with liver cleansing?
Preparation, understanding, knowing the why in the world would I ever go through such trouble, so much change, because it really is learning to understand the biochemistry of the body and working with your body, not a fad, putting your body through the ringer, which most diets really hurts people.
Really. And, and if we just took a poll, of those people that are in the chat, how many people have ever done a diet that was one of the fad diets, started in your 20s or in your teens sometimes. And by the time you hit 30 and 40 and you've done this how many times, and your body doesn't recognize nutrition.
That's right. And a lot of times, the statistics show this, that 20 years of dieting, the person is either the same weight or more at the end of 20 years. And it doesn't anger me, but I go on the side of the general public, because there's so much false information. So many people get an idea and they put it out there, and the old saying, you say anything with conviction and you can sell a refrigerator to an Eskimo. And it plays upon the needs and the fears of people. And I just plain don't like that. That aggravates me.
Well, the thing is that because I've been there, it's like at first it was about my weight and what I look like. And as I grew older, it became more about my health and how I can live the best life that I can, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And here's Stephanie. Stephanie is saying, guilty, been working on finding a lifestyle that works.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. And, and I know, and Stephanie is our social media manager. And so, I know she's, she has the articles. And so, you might want to give it a serious thought there and to give this one a try.
Yes.
Because, both yours, Patty and I have both done it. Of course, you led the way. And this is the way that you have the process set up in your articles. One really builds on another. So you literally gave us the building blocks.
That was the purpose.
Mhm.
And in fact, you just are publishing the actual cleanse. And of course, I could have written, I could have sent you 100 pages of information and recipes and options. And to narrow it down to 12 or 1,300 words, it's like, okay, this we have to do. And this coming article that I'm going to be sending you in a moment is going to give a whole lot of, well, this happened, well, that happened. Well,
Yeah.
it's kind of like the top 20 questions that people have asked me as they've gone through this. Well, what about this? And could I do this? Can I do that? Well, can I substitute this? What more recipes, please? Yeah, yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Now this is the April. No, this is the March. March.
Margaret, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Your life-giving liver and cleansing. And so this was the article that you started sharing about the morning protocol.
Yes, the liver rescue morning.
Yes,
Yes,
yes. And could you tell us about that? Because
yes.
this is a really important piece.
Okay, the liver rescue morning begins to prep your body and your liver, because in a shortened version, the liver begins to for everybody. When we go to sleep at night, our organs go through a sequence of different times where each organ will detox and will go into rest and will replenish itself, okay? And all organs do this if we give it the option to do it. And so in the middle of the night, the liver starts to detox itself, to replenish, to flush. Let's just say it begins to flush itself, and puts all kinds of attention on itself, and it stops producing bile. One of the jobs of the liver is to produce bile. And bile, of course, digests fats and proteins. So when you get up in the morning, take out all fats until lunchtime. That includes plant-based fats like avocado, coconut, nuts. How many people love to have in the morning a yogurt smoothie or an avocado in their smoothie, and they'll put in coconut oil, or they'll add all of these peanut butter, or whatever, these oils and fats and proteins. Well, in the morning, the moment that we add fats or proteins, particularly animal proteins, but all kinds of animal fats and plant-based fats, the liver stops producing and loading up on glycogen, and it immediately switches over and begins to produce bile. And it stops its flushing of itself, and it starts to work again. The liver does so much, it works so hard. So in order to prolong the time that your liver is still flushing, stay out, keep out of your diet in the morning any fats, proteins, and animal products until lunchtime. And then when you go into the 9-day cleanse, well, then you even do it more intensely. Takes it to work 10.
Yeah.
But for the liver rescue morning, you start with celery juice. Celery juice is a miracle juice.
Yeah.
Leave it just as it is, celery juice. And if someone wants to, you can also drink a nice tall glass of water, always purified, of course, with lemon juice in it, the juice of a lemon or the juice of a lime, however you want to do it, whatever you prefer. And then that's what I do. And then 20 minutes later, I do the celery juice. And then I make my smoothie and I set it aside. And I usually bring my smoothie with me. I don't even take my, ingest my smoothie until maybe 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Yeah. And then by the time I do have lunch, I don't stick to 7, noon, and 5. I am approximately every 4 or 5 hours. And then I will have whatever foods I've prepared. And you make better choices too. And then you can add a fat in. You can add your avocado. You can add plant-based oils and proteins as well as animal products.
Yeah.
And or you can keep your animal products until the evening meal. So it's really cutting back on, not excluding, but cutting back on the radical fats and even the good fats, not eliminating them because our body does need them.
Yep.
Yes. So it's really supporting the liver to continue to flush and revitalize itself for a longer period of time.
Right.
And if you have any pH test strips, when you start going through this process and periodically throughout the day, test your saliva pH or your urine pH, you will bring your pH right where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Which is a wonderful side effect of this, because when your pH is where it's supposed to be, your body is going to start to go into balance and heal itself. Yeah, so your body heals itself.
Right. Right. So there are so many benefits from this. And I have to say that it wasn't such a big stretch for me to kind of, change my morning routine, because I was already drinking a very large, at least 16 ounces of water in the morning before I even ate anything.
Yes.
So it wasn't such a big deal to juice a lemon or lime or a lemon to put it in my water. There was a little bit I had never had celery juice before. And so, and that was what was brand new to me, and
Did you like it?
I don't have a juicer. And so, but I do have my NutriBullet. And so that's what I used.
Okay.
Yeah. And Stephanie's asking a really good question here. She says, I don't have a juicer. I blend the celery with water and then strain it. How much celery should I be blending to get the same effect as juice?
Well, I've never done it her way. I go through an entire, a big bunch, not stalk, a big round bunch, big bunch of celery every morning. So what the equivalent would be 2 cups of liquid.
Yeah.
So however much that would take to produce 2 cups of liquid.
Yeah.
But I could also suggest, if anybody is open to this, and you also, Neshi, that look on Craigslist or whatever your version in your part of the country for a juicer, because there are people that buy a juicer, never use it, and then sell it for $30, $35.
Yeah.
I've seen them.
So the juice is much preferable to having the fiber.
That's a question I get asked a lot. Juicing versus blender drinks and the whole plant itself.
Yeah.
And they each serve a purpose. When you juice, that's called enzymatic therapy, because it is incredibly concentrated nutrition and enzymes. Now, I would never advocate for someone to only do juicing. They're going to miss out on other essential nutrients and fiber, but for a purpose as adjunct to other things you're doing, it's intense enzymatic therapy. So it's part of the puzzle. It's one of the spokes in the wheel.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good to know. Really, that's good to know. All right. So that was a good question, Stephanie. Yay. Yeah. Here's another one though. What do you do with the leftover pulp?
I know. Oh, when I started to do this, I was going to save it, and I was going to make, breads, like you make banana bread or zucchini bread. Oh my gosh. No, it doesn't work. I'm sorry to say, I live in the city. If I lived in the country, I would have a compost pile. I would be having my own garden. And even if I didn't have my garden, I would still have a compost pile. And I would put it over my yard in the winter time then for fertilizer.
Uh-huh.
But that's the farmer in me because I grew up on a farm and that's what we did.
Right.
When I would even donate it to the local, CSAs, Community Sustainable Agriculture, these
Sure.
farms.
Sure.
So you could do that.
Mhm.
I could do that. Duh, Patty, I could do that. Yes, I could save it.
Write it down.
Yeah, we have a lot of CSAs here in West Michigan that I could schlep it over there and give it to them. Yes.
Yeah, good. Another good question, Stephanie. Stephanie's always thinking about
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So when we're talking about the liquid, you talk about it being 2 cups. You have 2 cups of the lemon juice, right? And then 2 cups of the celery. Um,
Yes.
yeah. That's a lot of water.
Oh,
That's
yes.
the water. And I
Yes.
have to say that if you ever had issues with am I hydrated enough? This is going to answer your question.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. And balance
Yeah.
your system. And it gives a lift to your lymphatic system. So you are really going to, of course, your kidneys are going to flush out. You're going to, yes, go to the bathroom. You would be surprised. I'm surprised every time I hear this, and I don't hear it too frequently. Well, I stopped doing all that liquid because I didn't want to have to go to the bathroom that much. And I just stare and I think in my mind, okay, just observe. There's some deeper reason here,
Yeah. Yeah.
let them explain and stay with them. But it really is an understanding of what is really happening here and why you do it. And if you really understood what was happening in your body,
Mhm.
you would simply drink the liquid and visit the bathroom more often.
Right.
And that's just the way it is. It's really a lack of understanding. So
Right.
understanding,
Yeah.
vitally important.
And I think that it also has to it goes back to maybe either a family belief or maybe even a regional belief, because my mom says the same thing. She goes, "Oh, I just
Does she?
drink too much water. I have to go to the bathroom." She goes, "When we were young," she says, "we didn't drink that much water."
Yeah.
You know,
And
it,
there even is a belief that you don't have to drink that much water. Well, that goes into the category of those fad diets. Somebody came up with a really good idea and said, yep, this is my story, and I'm going to take it on the road and I'm going to hawk it like,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. But also because I've been dealing with elders, my parents for a lot of years now, is that
right.
when we're hydrated, and if we have to be in an ER kind of situation, and they have to do IVs, it's less trauma to it if you're hydrated.
That's right. That's right.
You know?
The body was meant to drink water.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
And so, adding this to my morning routine was not that far of a stretch for me.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, for me.
Good.
So this is the next one is the April issue. And this is the best liver cleanse ever. Oh, wait, that might be the cliffhanger. Oh, okay. So this is April, the April issue.
Okay.
And I have to say, I was all ready to do the 9-day cleanse in April.
I know.
But I understand, and I'm hoping that you're going to share it with our audience, is that you gave us more information in April to help us understand what we were going to be doing in May
Yeah.
and why. And so could you kind of do a cliff note kind of
Yeah, yeah. In fact, that was the one I was reading before while I was waiting. Um, yeah. So there are high points. Again, the liver, cleansing the liver, step one. We talked about the limiting food belief systems because they're built around theoretical. Somebody had an idea, but it takes your body out of alignment. That's what I addressed with this cliffhanger. Um, but basically, I wanted people to understand how the body functions. Um, it was the truth, I'm just going to read it here, the truth of how the body works, how symptoms and illness develop, and then what it actually takes to heal your symptoms or your illness or get that extra fluid, weight off you. Because I wanted to, when you do the two protocols where you prep first with the uh, liver rescue morning, and then you go into the 9-day liver rescue cleanse, these two protocols does not, these protocols, they do not put your adrenals into stress. That's very important to understand because you do not want to overstress your liver or your adrenals because your liver, your liver will absorb the excess adrenaline and it'll be completely counterproductive. So I wanted to establish that don't skip, don't do 12 days, don't do 14 days, don't do 7 days. The liver works in threes. And that's another part that I wanted um, to get in for people. Okay, the three prongs begins with a 3-day preparation phase where your liver loads up, takes in, on those first 3 days, you take in these foods that are high in glucose. You load the liver up with glucose, causing the liver to begin to produce huge amounts of glycogen that's in the liver. And this is integral. Don't skip it. Don't skip on to the other because this load up phase is very important. And then days 4, 5, and 6, the internal cleansing begins. And that is when your liver goes in and begins to, think of it this way, the analogy of this way. It's going in, it's taking things out of the pockets of storage. It's unpacking these storage bins, pulling things out, loosening things up. Then you go into the final 3 days and your liver lets go. Your liver begins to send the waste and toxins out of the liver into the lymphatic system, which is taken to your organs of elimination, bowel being the main one, and your kidneys. And, the other thing I do at my office, of course, is bowel cleansing, the colon hydrotherapy. So it really would be important for people to get yourself a good old-fashioned enema bag and help yourself here too. But that's another issue. It's when you do it in the sets of 3 that I wrote about it in here someplace. I was looking, I can't find.
Yeah.
You move the needle on your health. All right, that is when you take that incremental step. Anything anybody does methodically, consistently, gently for a long enough period of time, which is the beauty of this. Do it 9 days, give it a rest, do it again, give it a rest, continue with your liver rescue morning protocol, do the 9 days again, gently, continually, methodically. You will be a different person in 6 months, in a year. Oh my goodness, if you were to do, say, 10 of the 9-day protocols in a year, that's not even one a month.
Yeah.
You will have moved that needle on your health, and conditions that you might have had your whole life will have drastically diminished, if not disappeared. That's the beauty of this. Yes, one of the beautiful side effects is to drop weight, but move that needle on your health, because as you get older, and being that, I've been doing this, as you know, since the early 90s. So probably since 1990. And I'm healthy, strong, and trim. And I like that. And that's the goal that I think most people want to have as we age.
Mhm.
Healthy, strong, and trim. Oh, and throw happy in there.
Yeah.
You know? And
Oh,
keep your,
joy in there too, you know?
and
Oh,
keep my teeth. I think we all want to keep our teeth.
right.
But
Now,
yeah,
I
yeah.
have the May issue article up, and this is here it is, the best ever liver cleanse. And this is the issue where Patty truly lays out the 9-day protocol and step by step, step by step. And I have to say, Patty, that I only had two days that were a challenge.
Which ones?
It was the third day of the first three,
Oh,
and it was the first day of the last three.
okay. Yes, because on day, which is the sweet potato, squash, asparagus, Brussels sprout day, isn't
That
that 6? Is that day
day
6?
6, yes, I think so. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think I got it right here.
that one was my hardest. So by the time I I ate a little squash, I ate a whole sweet potato, I ate about 15 asparagus, baked asparagus. I had probably 2 cups of baked Brussels sprouts. That warm
Uh-huh.
cooked food, and I didn't put anything on it. I didn't put any butter, no fat, nothing on it.
Right.
A little bit of sea salt.
Uh-huh.
It tasted so sweet
Yeah.
all by itself. I mean, it was like I am going, oh, oh. So that was my hardest. That would have been day
Is it
6.
well, I know, I
Yeah.
think day seven of the third 3 days
Okay.
where we add the steamed squash, sweet potatoes.
Yes, day 7. There it is. I've got it right here, day 7.
Yeah.
So I guess day 7 was where I realized in the evening how much my body was so appreciative of this warm, cooked food, because we just had those salads.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. First time I made the salad, I made a bowl that could feed a family, you know. It took me 3 hours to eat it, you know. And then the spinach, the cold spinach, tomato, garlic over cucumbers. I did learn julienne cucumbers. I did learn to do it fresh, because if you do it the day before, the cucumbers disintegrate and it's not fun.
No, it's not. It's not. But I have to say that the smoothie, the papaya smoothie,
Isn't that good?
it is so good. But it took me all day, and that was supposed to be for breakfast.
I know, I know.
It took me
Cut
all
down,
day.
yeah, cut down the portions then to suit you. Yeah.
Well, but it worked out. I would have part of it in the morning after, like around 10:30 or 11, I would have that. And then when I would get done with the live stream in the afternoon, when I got back to the house, that's when I had the second part of it.
Yeah.
So it worked out fine, but it's just I was never hungry. Never
Never,
hungry.
never.
I
I
had
know.
cravings,
Yes.
but I was never hungry.
What were your cravings? Which ones?
Oh gosh, donuts. And I hardly ever eat donuts,
Okay.
because I'm a type 2 diabetic, or at least I was.
Not anymore.
No, I haven't been for a lot of years, but those kinds of things that I have few and far between if I ever have any. So it was kind of interesting to have those kind of cravings crop up, and it's like, so is that something that I considered comfort food? And then, so what
Yes.
are they looking for comfort for?
Yes.
I'm going a
And
little bit deeper with it. Yeah.
yes, yeah. And of course, what I do at my office is that it all works together, it dovetails together. It is important for us to address our subconscious motivators, not search and recover is what I call it,
Yeah.
and to blend that therapy with. And that actually is what I would very much like to, as I begin to share more other things with people is to go into the mental, emotional, spiritual components of our mind. But right now, this is the project,
Right.
yeah. And that is an important part, yeah.
And
The
I think
thing, yeah.
this is a good base.
Yeah.
Foundation.
This is the essential base for people to begin with. Yeah,
Now,
definitely.
you know, the reason I even did the liver cleanse is because, you know, and everybody knows about this. I've talked about it on many of my shows. Is in 2017 was a really tough year for me. I went through a lot of changes in 2017. 2018 was a lot about integration of all of those changes. Um, and I was in the middle of a live stream show and we were talking about healing and I do have the belief that for any healing to be complete, it has to work through all four of our bodies, right, to be complete. And the light bulb went off and I thought, oh, that's why I'm doing the liver cleanse. I'm doing the physical healing part of 2017. And
Yeah.
it's time to do it. And so, and I have to say that the one thing that I really thought, oh my God, this is really great. I have been still dealing with hot flashes for a long time now. I think I'm on year 11 or something like that. I don't have them anymore.
I know because you're alkalizing your system and you're eating all of this raw food, which is very yin and it's cooling you down. It is changing your metabolism.
Yes.
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 Oh my God, that was like, yay.
Yeah, same. I hear that a lot and for myself as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Anne's got a good question here. She
Yes.
says, well, will this cleanse help my fatty liver diagnosis?
Yes. Yes.
True answer, yes.
Yes.
Now, okay, so for an average, whatever that is, how, in order to have a fatty liver healed, right, balanced, how many times do they have to do the 9-day protocol, would you say?
What I would suggest for anybody who has chronic, long-standing condition like this, and because that didn't happen overnight, that built up your whole life. And it's also how your body is metabolizing. It's the nutrition and the building blocks that you give it. I would suggest strongly that you look at this as something that you're going to do maybe twice, 2 9-day protocols a month think of it as a year and then reassess. See where it took you. Because what it's going to do, people say, oh my goodness, I can't do that. Why not? Because it is actually changing your thoughts and changing your belief system and changing the way you view food, changing your relationship with food. You literally change. And not only do you change your habits, you completely form new habits. You begin to, you don't even miss the old way of eating. You have changed. And you also change the neurological pathways in your brain, all by doing something consistently, methodically, for a long enough period of time. And that includes a way of eating.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a fad diet. So how long? For the rest of your life.
Yeah. Yeah. And I could see that being really okay.
Yes.
I really do enjoy the morning protocol. I really
Yes.
do. I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
And I also, you know, I go to bed and I don't have acid reflux anymore.
That's right. So why would anybody, if they are making these changes and receiving so much benefit, what you ask yourself the question, why would you go back to what you were doing? Because you will recreate what you had. And if you didn't like it then, you're not going to like it again.
Yeah.
So it really is letting go of the old way of being and embracing a new way of being. And it actually is easy. But please respond, okay? Type in something for Neshi. Please respond.
And so, you know, what went through my mind is why would you go back? Why would you go back to an abusive relationship?
Bingo. Why would you hurt yourself? Why would you beat yourself up?
Yeah.
No, you love yourself.
Right. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yep. And you nurture yourself and take care of yourself.
Hmm. Now, I do know that I'll be doing the 9-day protocol again. Um, you know, I'm clear audience, so my team was saying August, November, and I'm going, you know, what's August, November? And it's like, you got to give me a little bit more than just the names of the month. What are we doing in August, November to do the 9-day cleanse again, August and November? But, keeping up the morning protocol.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There is not you must do it this way or that way.
Mhm.
Thank you, Anne. And I want to make sure, Anne, that we answered your question.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good, good. Yes. And whether someone does it, I'm a super health nut. I really am. This is in my bones, my genes. I grew up on a vegetable farm, for goodness sakes. And so I used this to heal myself 30 plus years ago. And so I made those changes. It would I could no sooner not be this because this is who I am than say, for example, not brush my teeth
Yeah.
or go to taking a shower once a month. Oh goodness, no, these are things we won't even consider. So for me, it's like, no, I wouldn't even consider doing what I used to do.
Mhm. Mhm.
No.
And I have to say, I didn't think I was going to like steamed Brussels sprouts, but I do.
Oh yeah, put lemon on it, sea
Yes,
salt.
sea salt,
Oh my
definitely.
goodness, yeah,
My
yes.
husband, my husband was saying, "You're doing what to Brussels sprouts?" Because we have them only one way, and that's with bacon and the stir fried and that kind of thing. And they're good. I'm not saying they're not good, but and he tried them, the steamed, and he goes, "These are really good." And I said, "I know. Who knew?"
I know it. I know. And I, of course, don't remember if I put in here, but I will for the article that I'm in the middle of writing. If I did not put in a really additional, really good Brussels sprout, did I do a Brussels? Yeah, I did. Yeah. Um, there's a fantastic baked Brussels sprout and asparagus
Mm,
method that you put a little honey on. Ooh.
yeah,
Yeah,
good stuff.
I'll include that if I didn't.
Okay, all right, that sounds good. Um, there was something else I was going to suggest. Yeah, it's gone.
That's okay. I'm looking at the time and
I
wow,
know.
this hour has just flown.
It goes by so fast.
Yeah.
And I was excited to have you on and to share this information and to have people give it a try, but and more importantly, just to plant the seed because even if you're
Yes.
considering it, that's a step in the right direction.
Yes. Plant the seeds. Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
So, one of the things that I know about cleanses, um, and I kind of always held back on doing a liver cleanse, is because I never found one that really prepared the body really well. Because if you are, what do you call you used a term in one of the articles is that the liver doesn't like being threatened.
Yes. Yes. The liver, all right. Of course, the liver doesn't have a brain. However, the every single cell in our body has tissue memory. And the liver is the biggest work mule in our body. The heart, yes, is pumping all the time. The liver is also working nonstop. It never stops working. It stores. It doesn't like to be abused. It doesn't like to be um, poked. It doesn't like to be beat up. It'll protect itself. It'll protect you. The liver actually will go into body protection and will store all these toxins rather than letting them out into the system, because letting them out into the system could cause a healing crisis. In fact, I've read books by the old gurus from the 1800s, from the European sanatoriums, and I really study this stuff. And there was a statement, a whole chapter on this. The very cleanse that can heal one person can kill another if the liver and the lymphatic system dump so much that it becomes stuck. It can get stuck as, think of this huge amount of toxicity that is stuck in the bowel. Think of it stuck in the bowel. That's going to get reabsorbed by the bloodstream, shunted right back to the liver. The liver is going to be reabsorbed. You could get a bacterial infection. You could get the worst case of pneumonia. You could get so sick that it can kill you. And those warnings stayed in my mind. It was very important for my training. So yeah, the liver will protect the body, and yes.
And the toxins have to go someplace.
And the liver will store them.
Right.
We store everything. Viruses, heavy metals, that get stored in our organs, primarily in the liver.
Yeah. And so, the other thing that I noticed is, because we all know that the liver stores anger, right?
Yes.
Stores anger. And over the weekend, there's a family issue that happened that would have normally put me into spinning angry, and it didn't. It didn't. I took it in. I wasn't happy about it. But the anger and the fear thing wasn't the primary response.
And wasn't that an amazing awareness to be aware of? Great feedback for you. Well, the saying is the gall of that person.
Yes.
Well, the liver produces gall. Well, produces bile, which is stored in the gallbladder.
Right.
And ancient people knew this.
Right.
They knew it.
Hey, what happens to those of us that don't have gallbladders?
The liver still produces bile. It just does not have a little storage pouch. Because I don't have my gallbladder yet, because I used to be very ill. And that was one of the surgeries that, of course, afterward I was still just as sick, which really pushed me to start to do all of this, to really started that 5+ years of detox that I started.
Yeah.
So we can still get healthy even if we don't have a gallbladder.
Okay. Because I know energetically it's still there.
Yes, absolutely.
But the physical gallbladder isn't there, so yeah.
Yeah, it's multifaceted. So it is important for us to look at, again, I like to use the analogy of the spokes in a wheel. And you really have to address all of them. And nutrition is a foundational thing. How you go about it with the support of the endocrine system and the liver, an important piece of that wheel. And of course, our thoughts and our spirituality, and all of that's all part of it.
God, I love these kinds of conversations. There's so much that we can bring to the surface and share. And who knows, maybe our audience are thinking, really? I would have never thought of that.
Yeah.
That would be like that. So, it's good to share, and it's good to get the information out there.
Well, that's how I see myself. Here I am writing for the newsletter, and I do not see myself as a writer. What I do see myself is a sharer of information. So what I'm looking at and reading and studying and doing, there's so much then that if someone's interested in it, here, let me share it with you.
Yeah.
And that, because I'm not making this stuff up. I'm not smart enough to make this stuff up. I'm simply not. And so, it's sharing all the learning that I do. I'm a consummate student. I am constantly looking and reading and learning and testing. I'm the mad scientist, and I run the experiments on myself. And then share it with people what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, what I'd like to share with our audience is that Patty has agreed to do her own monthly live stream show here at Star Nations. And I am so happy about that. We were hoping to get it started in June. I don't know if we're going to make it because we get lots of stuff that's got to go into that package. But we'll definitely get it started in July. That would be the first Monday of every month will be Patty's new live stream show. And she gets to talk about all this I know, but I'll be there with you. I'll be producing her show for her.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, it'll be fine. We'll get you started, and in 6 months, you'll be like so comfortable with it. Yeah.
Okay, good,
Yeah.
good,
Yeah.
good.
So thank you again, Patty, for making time for us this evening
You're very welcome.
and sharing, I think, vital information with us.
It is so important to get this information out to people. Yeah, reach more people. Yeah.
So if somebody wanted to contact you, let's say they have questions that they didn't really want to ask on a public kind of forum like this, or if they were looking for you to be able to book some time for services that you provide, how do they get a hold of you?
Okay, they can go directly to my website, and there is a very easy spot, a link. I would like you to contact me and put in their name and fill in why they want me to call them with their telephone number and their email. Now, my website is grandrapidstherapycenter.com. Just like it sounds, Grand Rapids Therapy Center.com.
Okay.
Of course, www.
Yeah. I just put it in the chat for
Okay.
everybody. And in fact, hang on just a second and I will get the link up. It's just going to take me a second.
Sure.
Grand Rapids
Therapy
Center. Whoops, got to spell right.
Yeah.
.com.
Yeah.
And we'll get the link.
And they'll see it when it comes up. I would like you to contact me. In fact, it says I'd like a half-hour free consultation. Put in your name and number. That's the spot. You don't have to have a half-hour free consultation if you don't want to. But that will come directly to me immediately. It comes to my phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
There. It's in the link is in. And so if you want to contact Patty, you have the link for how to reach her.
Yes. Yeah.
So thank you everybody for being with us this evening and to be able to share about this important information for our health, our optimal health, I'll say. And you can always get the Star Nations magazine if you want it in writing. You can get the print on demand copy, or you can do your digital and it'll be right there on your phone or on your iPad, something like that. So it's right in the comments. I saw that Stephanie was posting items for us, and so the link to the magazine subscription and all of that is in the comments. So thanks again, Patty. We're going to have you back. In fact, we're gonna be putting it out there when we're going to get your show started, and we'll get everybody on board with that.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody. And next week for communications from home, I got to take a look at the calendar because, hey, it's the last Tuesday of the month next week. That's May 28th. That is the day after Memorial Day. Can you believe that? We'll be doing the Unity Breath meditation, the guided meditation together. So you can join me for that. And it's all about love. It's all about love. And so with that, enjoy your Tuesday night, and we'll see you back here next week for Communications from Home at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks again, Patty, and thank you, everybody.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.